Hi everybody, welcome to Nagging Panda. Today we're going to be looking at a scenario where we want to set up a custom statement run. We find in some cases businesses will use the model where they essentially issue invoices through a particular month, and then all of those invoices are due on the 15th or a specific day of the following month. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that the invoice due dates are set to the actual due date. So in this case, anything issued in March will be due by the 15th of April, just to make sure that that's set like that in your accounting software, and then we'll take you through how to set up the workflow in Nagging Panda to accommodate that. Right, so if we go into Nagging Panda, essentially what we'll do is we're going to go down to statements, workflows, and then we'll just create a new workflow specifically for this. So save. Okay, so essentially what we have here is we have our first instruction, and this we want to set up for everybody that's in current that has no overdue invoices. So essentially anybody that I've issued an invoice for in March must receive just a statement run on the last day in March, just to advise them of the outstanding invoices or the upcoming invoices that are due by the 15th of April. So essentially what I've done is in my message template, I've just set a placeholder which refers to the value of upcoming invoices. So everything I've issued in March would be then upcoming, because the due date is set to the 15th of April. I can then list those invoices, and then what we do is we just set this reminder to go out on the last day of the month after all the invoicing has been done. So we just select monthly, and then we go and select last day of the month at 4 o'clock. So then we want to set up a follow-up. So should these invoices that are issued in March not be paid by the 15th of April, we then just want to set up a follow-up, say for the 20th of the month, to just advise these clients that those invoices are due, and if invoices would now be past the due date, so they would be between 1 and 30 days overdue. We'll then also select monthly. We can then say, right, send this reminder on the 20th of the month, and then we can just select a time. So the invoice or the workflow, the message template that I've used here will now just refer to the overdue amounts. So any amounts that are overdue will be summed together into a value, and then we're just advising these clients that these overdue payments or these invoices are payable immediately. We can then list the overdue invoices so they have a reference to that, and then we add that to that instruction. So now we add an additional layer to this workflow, and essentially what we want to do now is we will have some clients that are still in current, and they'll receive their normal workflow or their normal statement run on the last day of the month. But for those that have now slipped into an overdue status, we want to include the overdue amounts, but also we would have issued new invoices to them during the month that are then due for the 15th of the following month. So we just want to highlight and separate those that are overdue from those that are due on the 15th or before the 15th of the next month. So essentially there we've just created a message template, and over here we'll see the overdue amounts are listed and summed in one field, and then we have a reference to the number of upcoming invoices, and that would reference then and sum the amounts payable by the 15th of the following month. So we'll add that in, and then we're going to set that also 1 to 30, because those invoices are due on the 15th, so by the last day of that same month they'll still be between the 1 and 30 day bracket, monthly, and then the last day of the month. Perfect. So now we basically just repeat that out just to cater for any account that has aged beyond the 30-day age. So it's the same principle. So we have a client that has passed through the overdue, they've passed through 1 to 30. We've issued a statement on the last day of the month, and now should they still be unpaid after the 15th of the following month, again we once again then sum all of the overdue invoices, which would basically be coming from day 1 all the way through to the current age of the account. Anything that's then overdue, we want to just insert that instruction to advise them that those amounts are payable immediately. So, they possibly drifted through the 1 to 30 into 31 to 60 days overdue monthly, and then we're going to say, right, so on the 20th, anybody that has an overdue amount, we want to send a reminder and advise them what that amount is. Okay, and then again we can then set up for that same bracket 31 to 60, we want to set up a end of month statement run. So there, once again, we've got the value of the overdue invoices. We're now referring to the fact that they passed 30 days overdue, and we're then just escalating slightly to increase the urgency around this account. And then once again, we separate out, if we've issued new invoices to these clients, what will be due by the 15th of the following month, which is just related to new invoices that were issued. And then once again, we just list the overdue invoices so they're aware of the invoices that are due for payment immediately before the 15th. Perfect. So we can assign that to the next instruction. So it's 31 to 60 monthly, and then we can make that the last day of the month again. And then essentially you just repeat those two instructions for each aging bracket, and that will cater for the full age of all of your clients as they drift through the process. Once that's done, you save it. You then go and assign it to the customers. So the customer, you can go and choose which customers you want to assign that particular workflow to. And that's it. So as the account ages, the workflow will automatically escalate the messaging. As those invoices get paid off, the system will automatically then reduce the escalation back to when they're in current and they just receive their normal statement run. When the clients receive the message, they'll then click on the link, open up their portal to access their invoices, statements, their quotes, or their credit notes, and then they can also, if you've got the integrated pay button, select pay now, and the clients can pay immediately from there. Thank you very much.